Hello quilters, it's Allison from Motor Rose Quilting, and it's March, and we're going to be working on the March quilt from the Studio 180 Design 2026 calendar. The pattern is called Higher Ground, and I've done it in some different colors, and the pattern, I'll show you in a sec, but the pattern is all green, but the one in the calendar is a lovely pink color, and it changed the whole look of the quilt. So let me show you the pattern. It's called Higher Ground, and it uses only one tool. Whew. This month, we're only doing one tool, the Star 60 tool. I really, really like the Star 60 tool. It gives us 60-degree equilateral triangles. You can see a little picture there. They're all perfect every time. And I don't know that I'm going to do the whole thing. I'm thinking just that little bit in the middle there, depending on how I arrange things. So let me see what I can do for sizing. I want my borders to be about 2 inches in height. So when we measure them, we are measuring, if we look here, we're measuring that height, okay, of that triangle. So if I want to do 2 inch height, a 2 inch height, I'm going to be following along this line here. So I pulled some fabric and I think I'm going to tone it down just a little bit and just do my background and a plain blue. The Star 60 tool is a 60-degree. When we did the original, the first one, the wedge start was a 45-degree angle. Now we're doing a 60-degree angle. And first off, what we need to do is we need to get ourselves a 60-degree angled line. So I'm just going to line up any of the horizontal lines. Let's move this up a bit. I'm going to line up any of the horizontal lines and trim. Okay. And I'm going to cut. However wide the strip is the same distance here. So I'm on this 2-inch line. So I'm going to start off and I'm going to cut as many strips as I can from this piece, or as many units as I can from this strip. So this time, all we're going to be doing is we're going to be cutting left side, right side. So that's 2, and I've got how many units? 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12. So I need 24 of these triangles. 6. Now, what I'm doing is I am matching up. We've got a half little or a little line right there. And I'm just matching that up to the top edge of the strip and matching the cut edge. That's all I need to do. The nice thing about the Studio 180 design tools is all that thinking, all that math, all that measuring is done. And I just follow the plan. Okay, I'm going to leave that for now because I got to go and press this. So what I'm going to do now is take one of these triangles. I'm getting my triangles and my diamonds mixed up, sorry. Okay, taking a diamond, I'm taking a triangle, and I'm taking a triangle. And that's what we're going to do. That is how we're going to sew them together. So again, I like to have that flat facing me because I always want to sew my diamond onto my triangle first. And as we did with the wedge star, remember we matched up down at the bottom. Okay. This time we're going to match up at the top edge. Right, like that. and we're going to sew down, and then we're going to put the other one and sew it on. So let me work through a bunch of these and I'll be right back. We sew two together, we press towards the diamond, we sew the other triangle on and press towards the triangle. Now we're going to trim this to the exact size. Now let's review trimming, left-handed and right-handed. If we're trimming right-handed, we want the tip that we're going to be trimming off pointing off to about 2 o'clock. We're going to find our 2-inch mark and slide it in to that seam intersection and line up our lines coming off the 2-inch on our seams. We're going to pick up the cutter in our right hand and we're going to trim one side and trim the other side. Let's see if I can do it. Well, there we go. There we go. See, I'm a left-handed cutter. Then what we're going to do is I'm going to do left-hand cutting. Cutter's in my left hand. I'm pointing off towards the left-hand side. I'm going to line up my 2-inch marking, pick up my cutter, cut, and cut. See, I'm better with my left hand, sorry. Let's trim the backhand left-handed. Again, I'm going to have what I'm trimming off kind of 12 o'clock, about 10 or 11. And I'm going to trim. And my right hand cutting, I'm pointing off the edge that I'm cutting. I'm pointing off to the right at 12 o'clock at about that 2 o'clock mark. I'm always cutting away from myself. I never cut towards myself. Now we're going to start arranging our units. And I have a plan, and I think it may work. I'm going to create a little bit of a mountain effect or a zigzag. I think that would look really nice as a border. So here's the trick for getting those seams to match up perfectly. Take your 1/4 inch line on your ruler, slide the 1/4 inch up so it matches the edge of the fabric, and then come back just a titch. Right here, there's gaps in the ruler, in the lines on the ruler, and they are lining up with the edge of the fabric. Make your mark. Do the same thing on the other side. So slide it back just ever so slightly. Then when you go to pin these together, we're going to pin right on the pencil line. We're going to get right into that pencil line and right into, ooh, that's good, right into that pencil line. We're going to match it up. And now I'm a little lazy, and I find that if I just take one pin and I put it in at an angle as close to that original pin as I can get, take my original one out and stitch. My stitching line should be right on my pencil. I'm going to remove my pin. Let's have a look. Pretty darn good. Once that's pressed, I think it'll be okay. I could have stitched just a slightly bigger seam allowance. My strip sets are done. I have 2 of them for my border. And I've measured my quilt, and it measures 10 1/2 inches. So this chunk needs to measure 10.5 inches, which it does, but I got open space up here and open space down here. So what we need to do is we need to find that half triangle rectangle size that we need. So let's have a look. We're at 2 inches. We're going to slide along. We need a unit that is 2 3/4 by 3 inches. So I'm going to clear everything off and cut. So I have my little rectangle that is 2 3/4 by 3 inches. 2 3/4 wide, 3 inches high. What I'm going to do is instead of this little line here, I'm going to use the next line down, line that up with that center line of my star 60 tool, and I'm going to cut. I now have two identical pieces. We are going to sew and sew those pieces on the corners. I've got my side rectangles on and I've hit a problem and I am not liking how this looks right here. So I took a breath, stepped back, came back, and I think if I turn these around, this will look fine. So let's put our side rectangles on this piece and sew these onto our center block and see how things go. Well, there you have January center block, February, and March. I've added that 1.5 inch border out to the outside, and it's helping to frame, but also to square things up because I am dealing with some biased edges there. Next up, May. Let's see how that goes.